By using the LTPO displays in the Galaxy Note 20, Samsung is set to take the display technology to the next level. This technology was developed and patented by Apple and was being used in their smartwatches. But this is the first time that this technology is making its appearance in a smartphone, and if the estimations are right, it will give a battery of up to 2 days straight. Let's talk about LTPO displays. LCDs or liquid crystal displays have three parts: a backlight or a reflector to illuminate things, a thin film transistor which acts as a switch as well as a current regulator, and a liquid crystal matrix with blue, green and red filters. The light coming from the source passes through a vertical polarizer which allows only vertically aligned light to pass through it. If the liquid crystals are in the resting state, they polarize the light from vertical to horizontal direction. On the flip side, when the TFT applies a voltage on the liquid crystals, the polarity of the light doesn't change. Then there is a horizontal polarizer which allows only polarized light to pass through it. After this arrangement, each pixel has 3 color filters which turns the white light into red, green or blue. Depending on the intensity of these 3 basic colors, other mixed colors are formed. For example, if all the 3 lights are at full intensity, white color is formed. On the other hand, if blue is at 0 intensity and the red and green are at full intensity, we see yellow color, and so on and so forth. The liquid crystals in LCDs can be of different types, like the outdated twisted pneumatic or the more modern in-plane switching, which has much more resolution and viewing angles than twisted pneumatic. Hey, sorry for the interruption. This is Param from the future, and while editing this video, I saw a LCD screen that is broken which is lying around, and I quickly wanted to show you all the different layers of LCD and how they work together. Now here you can see the broken screen of my phone, but you can still read certain things like no SIM and emergency calls only. Now if I turn this around and tear down the screen, you can see that there is an array of LED at the top, and behind that is the reflectors which try to push the white light from the LED in the forward direction. Right after that is the horizontal polarizer like we explained earlier, and then the liquid crystal matrix itself. Now glued onto the screen is the vertical polarizer and the color filter matrix as we discussed earlier, and when the vertical polarizer and the color filter is not on top of this LCD, we can only see white light coming from the LCD matrix, but once it is glued on, the vertical polarizer starts blocking the light and you can read the text no SIM inserted once again. Alright, back to the video. So that was liquid crystal displays, and now let's talk about another technology, OLEDs or organic light emitting diode displays. This one doesn't have a backlight or any polarizer and liquid crystals to manipulate the light, but just have a trio of light emitting diodes that form an individual pixel. The substrate of the LCD in these displays are made of organic materials, and hence the name organic LEDs or OLEDs. Since OLEDs don't have a backlight or an arrangement for the liquid crystals, OLED displays have much more advantages compared to that of LCDs. Firstly, they are much more thinner because of avoiding all those extra parts. Number 2, since each pixel is an individual LED compared to that of a single glowing backlight, the individual LEDs can be completely turned off, which gives much more punchier blacks, and hence the display has more contrast. Number 3, since individual LEDs can be turned on or off according to the requirement, the battery consumption is less compared to that of LCDs. But there are some disadvantages for OLEDs compared to that of LCDs, like the shorter lifespan, lesser color accuracy, and lesser brightness of the display for the same input power. But overall, OLEDs are considered to be superior to LCDs. Generally, when people tell about TFT display, we think about LCDs, but that is a misnomer. TFTs are there in LCDs, and that is what controls the orientation of liquid crystals in LCDs. But TFTs can also be there in OLED displays, which makes them active matrix OLEDs or AMOLED displays. Doing so increases the brightness of the LEDs and also helps in achieving much higher refresh rates. These thin film transistors have two parts. a switching circuit which decides whether a pixel is on or off, and driving transistors that decide the intensity of light in each individual pixel. These thin film transistors used to be manufactured using a compound called amorphous silicon. The manufacturing required very high temperatures and the power consumption used to be very high too. Therefore, the amorphous silicon was later replaced with polycrystalline silicon. Polycrystalline silicon have larger and uniform grains of silicon which allows faster electron movement, resulting in higher resolution and higher refresh rates. Also, these polycrystalline silicons are much cheaper to manufacture due to the cheaper cost of certain key substrates and also the lower temperature of the manufacturing process, eventually giving it the name low temperature polysilicon or LTPS. The newest iteration of this backplane TFT technology, which is in the Galaxy Note 20, is called LTPO or low temperature polysilicon oxide. It also is named as HOP in certain citations, with HOP being the short form of hybrid oxide and polycrystalline silicon. HOP, as the name suggests, combines both LTPS and indium gallium zinc oxide TFTs. Remember that we discussed that TFTs have switching circuit and driver transistors? In LTPO, the switching circuits are made using LTPS while the driving TFTs are made using indium gallium zinc oxide. This is advantageous because it has been experimentally proven that the indium gallium zinc oxide has a much lesser on to off current ratio due to the higher electron movement. This would mean that it will consume less current even when the transistor is on. So why does all these matter? Well, AMOLED displays with LTPO TFTs have the following advantages over even the best-in-class LTPS AMOLED displays. LTPO displays have the capability to dynamically change the refresh rate. This would mean that even though the screen can run at 120Hz, it has the capability to automatically switch the refresh rate to a few Hertz when the phone is idle. This would save battery a lot more, promising anywhere from 5% to 15% improvement in battery life. With the Galaxy Note 20 already having a quite large battery, it would be no surprise if we get a screen on time of 7.5 hours or even more. It also gives a much better viewing experience as the screen can adjust its refresh rate according to the frame rate of the content. But like anything else, a coin has both sides and LTPO displays do have their disadvantages. The major con of this display is the fact that indium gallium zinc oxide TFTs are larger and so the size of the phone may be compromised. Apple has already put this technology in the Apple Watch Series 4 and Samsung is paying royalties to use this technology in the Note 20. No wonder why the prices of flagships are skyrocketing.